Connecticut has a special stake in this legislation because we have a GMO labeling law that would, in effect, be overridden and subjugated by this measure. This so-called labeling law is an affront and insult to the people of Connecticut, who decided they want real labeling, not a cartoon-like law. And the image of Mickey Mouse evokes for me Old MacDonald, who had a farm, and who I think, even as a cartoon character, would have been affronted by this law. There are grave defects in this law: the lack of a clear and stringent standard for labeling, the lack of enforcement, the lack of transparency. There is nobody who can look at that barcode and know what it means without internet connection, smartphone, and familiarity with how a smartphone can elicit that information and the time to actually get that information in that way, rather than just picking up the carton or the package and knowing what it means. And finally, let me just stress that this law actually puts the United States behind 64 other countries that have meaningful standards for GMO labeling. Never before would the United States have been so far behind on consumer protection where food is concerned than on this measure, behind other countries that we rarely seek to emulate when it comes to consumer protection. It is anti-consumer, it is a step backward, and it precludes states like Connecticut from protecting consumers. It's not just that it is inadequate, it also preempts laws that are on the books right now, laws that would go into effect, like Connecticut's, where a sufficient number of states join in this effort. And so I will be working hard with my colleagues to oppose this measure, and I hope we will prevail.